Also, our La La Land video got a lot of views out of nowhere. Well, not a lot.
Which one?
Our La La Land.
Has anyone like actually rewatched themselves for that one? Because I know I didn't.
I went to
La
see
La
what
Land?
you guys rated La La Land, so I had to make sure it
Oh.
was correct, and it was. It was correct. Good job, guys. You guys rated
You
it
had to make
correctly.
sure our ratings
Yeah.
was proper.
Mhm. It's not about anybody disrespect that movie.
Hey man,
That's right.
I give it a 99. Okay.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Something Dumb podcast. I'll be your host today. My name is Alino, and today we'll be talking about a 2006 animated film known as Paprika. But first, let's introduce our panel for today. First over here, to my left, I have Cornell. What's up, Cornell? How's it going?
I'm not at your left, but was I?
Oh, it's on my left on my screen. But
Well, I'm the one recording, so haha,
Alright.
I have
You're right,
power
you're right.
of who's here.
We're cutting that part.
Are you the editor? Excuse me? I'm the editor here, bitch.
Okay, and this week we have him back. If you might have missed him from last week, but we have Aldo.
What's up?
Weak.
And recurring guests also, we have Nick Marquez over there on my bottom left.
Hi.
And this week we have a special guest. His name is Chris, also known as Super Anime. What's up, Chris?
What's up? I'm here now. Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Good shit. So,
how'd that intro feel, Lino?
I
Don't
mean,
be getting meta on us.
A little bit.
I feel like I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? It
Aroused.
feel kind of weird, huh?
Yeah,
Huh?
Probably do some of that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay, so let's get started. As usual, we'll be doing. We'll go around, share the media that we saw this week, whether it's movies, TV shows, or music, or any other type of. And it seems that Cornell wants to go first. So why don't you
Sensei,
take
can
it
I
away,
go
buddy?
first?
Go for it,
Teacher.
buddy.
you have to raise your hand for that.
Teacher. No, all right. Look,
Don't we have to ask Chris like his top 3 favorite stuff first?
We do.
We
we
do, but I was gonna get to that after.
Oh,
when
okay.
Look, all right.
Patience, hold on.
I gotta speak about this. Because
Uh,
it's not the favorite thing I've seen in the past week, because that would be Attack on Titan final season. But I
This
saw
is really good.
it is really good. But I saw Cats.
TF
Bro,
Squad.
there could be a whole different podcast just for that. If you
Yeah,
want to talk
yeah.
about that.
We were talking about that, right?
Okay, so
Like TBH, we should.
yeah,
So,
you were
I'm
talking about that.
super down to like make an episode about this just because of how horrible it
Yeah.
was, dude. Okay, there's no plot.
Don't get me started, man. Don't get me started.
There's no plot. The protagonist isn't the protagonist, and it looks animated, but it's not, and it looks freaky as fuck, dude. Just.
Why did you do that to yourself?
So no,
Were you intoxicated?
yeah,
You
I was the whole
I
time.
hope you were.
Did you lose
You
a bet?
knew. You knew what was gonna happen, and you still did it.
Like
So
go
Oh,
ahead.
no, so I think I was telling Chris this one time, but when that movie premiered, they had like a special like display at a theater in Los Angeles. I think it was at the Alamo Drafthouse, where they were you could order like drinks, and they would give it to you like in the theater in like cat bowls.
Oh,
Why?
shit.
Yeah, it's
Because
part of
it
like an
makes you, like,
immersive
part of the-
experience.
yeah.
Yeah.
They want
like
you to
you're a
be.
cat.
They want you to be on all fours in the theater.
Well,
like,
no,
in the
they
mall.
had like a
That's not what he
table.
said.
They had like a like an armchair table, because it's one of those theaters where they serve you like they can serve you food if you want. Like there's like a extendable table in front of your chair that you can eat on. So they give you like cat bowls, and they serve like cocktails in it. I thought that was funny, and they had like a display outside set up with like a big table and a big spoon and fork, like in the movie.
Why?
Yeah, so you could take pictures with it and stuff, and I thought it was really funny, and I wanted to go, but my friends were lame.
That's cringy as fuck, bro.
I know, but it's like it is cringy, but it's like ironic. It's like we know how dumb this is. You know what I mean?
Wait,
That's the
did you-
point.
Did you ask me to go?
I don't think so.
Okay. Because I wouldn't have gone. I wouldn't have.
Dude,
You
I would have
wouldn't
for
have?
sure gone. That thing sounds so fun.
I feel
Because, like-
I can see Chris doing that. Yeah.
Well, because like my dad is like a very he likes to show me a lot of musicals and stuff, and so
Mhm.
we went to go see Cats in the theater, and
Mhm.
I really I remember feeling like I enjoyed it because I was really tired that day. I pulled an all-nighter.
Mhm.
I was like, "What's going on?" A lot of cat things, and them going into the audience, but like the production of it and the theatrics of it, I thought were very
Mhm.
good. So and the songs were well spoken, and but when I ended up seeing the movie, like all the points where you said, like, most people were talking about the animation because
Mhm.
why did they do
Yeah.
what they did?
Yeah.
But along with that, like for me, the biggest thing I had a problem with was them having a main character. Because the whole point of the musical is that every single one of them is a main character trying to explain why they should get the thing in the end. And for them to have a main character means you're going to follow this person. And so that means if the main character doesn't get the stuff, it's pointless.
Hmm.
I feel like
It's
I feel
dumb.
like it was not the Broadway show to be made into a movie.
Cause isn't the Broadway show good?
Yeah, like it's super
Yeah.
like it's one of the classics, I guess. It's like
Or it's like yeah.
that's why I'm like I feel like there are some Broadway shows that are not put on should not be meant to put into film because Broadway shows are structured in a very different way when it comes to films
Mhm.
because it's meant to be it's supposed to be what's the word I'm looking? It's like inconsistent. Like they change performances each and every time. So the crowd that they're appeasing to is completely different to film goers because film goers would always expect like the best take out of like the production. As to
Right.
this, where it's like I feel like some of the character out of the characters comes from the actors that play themselves, and you can't really do that with all the insinuating cat stuff they were doing in that movie. It was so weird, dude. Like
Well, I
I
think the point of
I feel like I was not supposed to be turned on while I was watching that movie.
Oh, my
Jeez.
well, that's a different thing, in my opinion.
I'm not a furry. I'm not a furry.
I've only seen Beastars one time, you guys. I'm not a furry, I swear.
I only watched it the one time. I did rewatch it.
totally didn't think it was hype. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
No, definitely not.
Okay. So yeah, so we'll move on. One of you guys want to go first? Nick, Aldo? Let's start to Nick. What did you see this week?
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. This week, I don't know. I kind of did want to talk about Attack on Titan, but at the same time, it's like, ooh. Let me
Yeah.
see.
We can't. There's one person in this group.
There's
that-
one
I
person,
know.
unfortunately. I'm sorry.
I wonder who that is.
Yeah.
Host, can you like get out of the call real quick so we can talk about it?
Trash.
I mean,
It's
I could
trash?
definitely.
Aldo?
I think he's talking. I think he's
calling
referring to
Alito
me.
trash.
Oh, I
She's
was about
referring
to
to me.
say.
I could deafen while you talk about it, and you give me a signal. but-
Oh shit. I don't know. No, it's cool. It's cool.
No, we'll be here forever. It's okay.
Yeah.
It would take the whole episode. We'll never get to Paprika.
I know. All right. So, yesterday I did start Jujutsu Kaisen, which
Nice.
is pretty.
My guy.
Yeah, it's tight as fuck. It's so cool.
good. It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah, the first I just got through the first episode. That was it. I'm gonna
Nice.
binge it all probably on Thursday. Catch up by the next episode on Friday. So let's go.
Nice.
Nice.
Timed that
It was really
perfectly.
tight. Yup. I'm pretty sure I could do it. Yeah, 13 episodes, 20 minutes an episode.
I
It's
mean,
doable.
we are talking to the man who watches how many films per week? Like
I know, for real.
his average
Did
is.
you not see any this week? Were you just
No.
catching up on
Oh,
Attack on Titan or
I
something?
swear, this man has an average of like
Yeah.
5 a week. I feel like he has.
Yeah.
I feel like he has.
You
like
know
a
how
birthday.
you know how you meet people and they're like, "Oh, I read like 40 books this year," and you're like, "What? You read how many?" That's like this guy with like films, because like after every week he'll be like, "I saw like 3 films." Like I'm like,
It's a
Jesus
lonely
Christ, dude.
existence. I do not recommend it.
I think it's fair. Through my anime history, I understand it.
Yeah, I've seen your Mal. God, I don't know how you've seen that much.
I was very bored in high school.
Oh my goodness. Tell me about it, man. Yeah.
How about you, Aldo? What? Oh, my bad. Were you? Go ahead.
Was I gonna continue? No.
Yeah.
No, I was not gonna continue. I was just gonna say.
Now that there's no Attack on Titan, he's not gonna continue.
I know. Sad.
Yeah. Well, how about you, Aldo? What have you seen this week?
I was actually pretty much not watching anything. What did I watch? I rewatched Palm Springs, which didn't have the same rewatchability that I thought it would.
Hold up. I'm so sorry. Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Fucking crazy, Aldo, because I watched it this week as well. That's
we all having a watch party?
On my list. It's on my list, and I didn't get to it yet. But
yeah, but I guess rewatchability, it was okay. It wasn't as good as the first time, sadly, but it was still.
Wait, so did your rating go down then after rewatching?
A little bit. It went from like a B plus to maybe like a B. Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. It's still like still a good movie. Like a B. It's a B.
Yeah. You mentioned.
And then I watched. What's up?
You mentioned that was like a movie that wasn't action, but it time loops. So that kind of makes me sad. I kind of don't want to watch that now. After that,
watch it, man. Do it.
We'll see. But sorry, go on, Aldo.
Yeah, and then of course, Attack on Titan every Sunday at 12:45. That's
He knows the time schedule.
Respect that.
I gotta wake up in time.
Low-key, yeah. So
I watched it twice.
The new episode.
Yeah, the new episode is really good. I was watching it the third time.
Nice.
I get it, dude. I saw
these episodes, man.
I can explain myself.
Yeah,
I was going to catch up. Okay. I was sitting there, I think it was like Friday night or something. Like I had Hulu pulled up and I was like, I had Netflix while I was looking for something to watch. And I decided to watch the Florida Project instead.
I hear good things, but I don't know if that's my kind of
movie. Did you see that one, Nick?
Yeah, I did. I fucking loved it.
Oh. It's great. I was telling Cora and Chris before we started, like the cinematography on that is amazing. And I didn't know how to describe it until Cornell pulled up some pictures, and he said it was like graded like pastel type colors. Yeah. And I don't know, it just looks really good, and I feel like it really matched the aesthetic of like the like shoddy tourism traps.
Oh,
like I don't know, I feel like it really captured that because the movie is about like people who are living in poverty like in this area around Disney World. So I felt that color style really
it's in Miami, or is it a different town,
or wherever in Florida? I don't freaking know.
So I guess they
near, or I'm sure it's near Orlando because isn't Disney World in Orlando?
Yeah,
it is.
I think the color palette makes sense then because Miami has always had the weird like baby blue with pink type of grades. Especially when they tried, because they had us. It was synonymous for some reason with like neon life, but with beach type of aesthetics. So it kind of made sense. Yeah.
Oh,
like Vice City, GTA Vice City, basically. So
fucking goated.
Yeah.
Got it. That makes sense to me. Okay, well, Chris, your turn. So go ahead, give me something you watched this week. But also, since you're a new guest, we'll have you list off your top 3 movies, and then one movie that you like or one movie that you hated that everybody else seems to like. So
Okay.
go ahead and start off with what you saw this week.
Well, there's a couple things I started just because there's some new anime coming out, and
right.
So the one that probably stood out the most to me was this show called Wonder Egg Priority. It's like about this girl who gets an egg, and it has like some magical properties. It sounds weird, but like, it's about like depression and suicide and shit.
Ooh.
And so like it has some like heavy topics about some of the stuff, but it does it in a very like fantastical way. And for it didn't feel like 20 minutes. It felt like lot longer for the depth of like how, emotionally invested you got, and how you kind of like into the minds of some of the main characters. Well, I don't know how many main characters there are because the show just started, but
Right.
um,
How many episodes are there already? Oh,
there's only one, but I think it's like a 12
Okay.
episode show.
okay.
I think I saw some clips from that show. The animation looks like Devil Crybaby, which is pretty cool. It's like what do you call it? It's like they insinuate motion a lot more, but they use motion but in like in a drawing kind of way, kind of like keep your hands off Heizuken, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
it's pretty good. I'm actually gonna watch that now because
It surprised me how I know anime or shows the later it gets into the the cycle of creation, like they get better looking, but this one just looks really pretty, like, and for such a show that's very like, I don't think I think it's an original, right? That it looks so good and it has such like themes and stuff. It seems very risky, but I quite like it. It seems kind of interesting. And other than that, I think I talked to Alino about it. I started watching She-Ra a little bit. Started on Netflix because I was bored and I was like, instead of catching up on 100 million shows, I'm like, why not just start a new one? That's always easier.
Yeah.
So I kind of just did that, and it's good. I've only watched the first few episodes. I haven't gotten to the parts where you want to talk about Alino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen that? No.
She-Ra,
Okay.
no. I'm looking it up right now. It's a
She-Ra and the Princess of Power
It's a cartoon?
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
Oh,
On
okay.
Netflix
Netflix.
original, right?
on Netflix. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It looks like
yeah.
it looks like that reboot they did for Voltron.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I might actually watch that too.
Did you watch that? The
I
Voltron reboot?
I did. I mean, it was like a kid show, so I was like
Mhm.
in for 3 episodes, and I'm like, it's okay.
So, I don't know if this is why you stopped, Chris, but it
Yeah.
is like a kid show. So it comes off, especially in the first season, it comes off that way.
Well, no, I mean, like,
so you might fall off of it, Cornell, if you
Okay.
fell off Voltron.
for me, that's not really a deterrent. Like,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, I know people have like their after a certain amount of episodes drop it or whatever. I don't like doing that, even though sometimes I go through like stuff I don't enjoy, because for me at least, like, I think even the discussion of something that's awful is worth something, and like the
I see.
conversation is cool. And I've seen shows that maybe the first few episodes aren't that great, but it turns into something amazing because the writers get into their pacing and whatever, or the story starts coming in and they start thinking about like how they want to frame it, or
Mm-hmm.
and so I
That's
think
interesting. Oh,
yeah, but
what?
that's why like my freaking anime list, I have like 100 on hold
Yeah.
stuff, and I'm like, I definitely will come
long.
back to them, I swear.
So long, dude. My God.
Dude,
That's
it's
interesting.
so-
So would you say you ever like hate watch something, or like watch something you just really
Yeah.
don't like?
Dude,
Just
there's a
to-
show. I know this is a show, and like, I just, it's called 11 Eyes. That is
Okay.
the show out of anything I've ever seen that I just genuinely hated the most. And the reasons for it is because it's like a generic kind of like isekai, which is like you get transported to another world, or you get
Right.
and then this guy gets like a lot of superpowers. But the thing about it is that it just wastes so much potential, and they're very hand wavy with a lot of the stuff that happens. Because like,
what do you
when,
mean by that?
well, when a
hand-wavy?
character within the show, when something bad happens, you'd want to see like consequences or like repercussions of the different things that happen. But the thing is, they're like, oh, a bad thing happens, and then by the very end of the show, everything's like, well, we just fixed it because we just did. And it's
Oh,
like,
okay.
and like, I think it's a cool concept when you do that the opposite way, where you try your best to do a bunch of things, and then oh shit, everything still goes to hell. Like, I think that that's still an interesting concept, because it makes the character struggle, and it's can still lead to it's a tragedy rather than you
Mhm.
just doing a Deus Ex Machina and it becoming super trash. Like they spent a whole episode on a vision that didn't happen. And the way it didn't happen was like they move a little bit one way and they avoid getting hit. And it was it was dumb. It was the worst. I hate that show. It's not as bad as I remember when I first watched it, but oh my god, no one watched that show.
Wait, so it had the power of fantasy isekai problem where every solution is just the easiest because the main protagonist is super powerful, but this time
it wasn't
like...
even that though, because like the main guy didn't do anything. It was just weird. That like they had solutions. They're like I don't know who's gonna watch it, but I'm gonna spoil it because it's trash and I hate it. But it's just like it has like 6 parallel worlds where like they collide or something, and then the main villain ends up destroying one of the worlds, and so they just go to a different world and we're like, okay, everything's fine in this one, and then that's it. It's so bad. Oh my god, I get heated talking about that show. And I watched it the first time and I was like, oh, I hate this, and then our friend Adam, he's like, I want to watch it, so I ended up rewatching it with him one night, and I was like, why did I do this? Like, do I hate myself this? Like, I didn't have to watch it with him, but
the torture of just
yeah, it was
well, okay, but Cornell, would you watch Cats with us again?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'd watch Cats too.
To be honest, I'd probably do it after downing a beer, then start the movie.
Oh no, yeah, that was assumed.
Yeah,
that's implied.
It's such a I don't know. I feel like I'd get bored out of my mind if I wasn't drunk. Because I'd be like, "What?"
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, what about we'll move on to favorite movies, top 3.
Yeah,
I know you do a lot of you just rambled a lot about.
I know. I rambled a lot about some anime stuff. I have like, see, I like a lot of different things, but like when I tried to think about my favorite movies, it was really hard. So I'm going to talk about 3 movies that I enjoy that I kind of like. Feel like I want to talk about.
Can I predict one of them? Is it your name in one of them?
No.
Good.
Okay. Well,
opinion. Oh, did you just take away? You just took his movie that everyone liked.
Well, okay.
Oh wait,
go ahead.
Oh shit.
I'll get to some of the points. I'll get to some of the points.
Yeah.
Like I know some of this is gonna be controversial, but like, okay. So my favorite movie is probably Dark Knight. I just love the way the Joker is and the different characters and the way that they they challenge Batman. I just think Dark Knight's so good. Heath Ledger is God.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, a movie that I really like that I don't hear people talk about that much is Us. I really liked Us, and I think it gets overshadowed by Get Out, because Get Out, to me at least, feels more concise and it gets the messages that it's trying to get across very well, and it's perceived very well, and for good reason. It's a good movie,
right?
But I think Us has a lot of broader themes that you have to kind of like dig into and like form your own conclusions of just like what it means to be in America, or like be a part of a system like that, and then within the family, and then within yourself, and what it means to be, what's the true versions of that, and some of the stuff I think we'll talk about when we get to Paprika, like the challenges of the different realities and stuff. And I found those stuff to be very interesting, and I don't know, I feel like not a lot of people talk about it, even though like I think that it's on the same level, or for me I enjoyed it more than Get Out. So that's
Aldo, did you see that one? Did you see Us?
No, this is the funny thing. So I had my cousin's HBO, and it's been on there for a while, I know. And I think every time I try to watch it, I like something happens, and then he doesn't have it anymore, and now I can't watch it. I was like, should I just like get it another way? But yeah, I've been trying. It's on my list. I've been trying to watch it for like a year or 2 now.
Well, I recommend it. I think it's such a good movie.
I mean, I've been trying to watch it.
It's on HBO Max and Amazon.
Oh,
and
HBO
Hulu.
Max has so much stuff.
And it's on Hulu?
Yeah, but it's on Amazon also.
Liar.
Like free on Prime?
No,
it's with HBO.
I was like,
it's on HBO Max and Hulu with HBO. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, from what I remember, Jordan Peele always likes to explore those like inner themes. Because what was that? I think Get Out was one of them that are kind of like that too, from what I remember.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly I would never see them because that's not my kind of show. Because I hate thrillers and
See-
horrors. So
See, so that was gonna be my next question, Chris. Do you think Us is a horror movie?
oh yeah.
I think it's more of a thriller.
I
if anything.
appreciate you.
Yeah, we had a whole argument basically of like what makes a horror and what makes a thriller. I think what we decided on that if horror is like horror, if a movie has supernatural stuff, then it's a horror. But if it's only like serial killers and shit, it's a thriller.
Yeah.
If I'm not
Well,
mistaken.
we kind of, at least for me, what I got out of that was, people kind of approach horror and genres in general in different ways. And although it explained that usually for horror, it needs to like experience basically scariness. It needs to be scared.
Yeah.
And that's like the biggest factor in a horror movie. And then but when what I appreciate about horror is like its ability to like express and deal with emotions. And how that's carried out through, whether it's a serial killer or like a family being haunted or whatever. It's dealing with something that's very human.
But what do you consider thrillers then? If that's your argument towards horror.
I would think of a thriller as
Thank
more
you,
of
Nick.
You're welcome.
a what? Oh. Oh.
No, no,
Well,
go.
I would, yeah. I would think of a thriller more of as like something that's more like actiony, like a Taken type movie. You know what I mean?
But isn't that an
something
action
that's
film?
like that's more, or like Uncut Gems.
Ah, yeah,
Or,
okay.
like, more of a
Uncut
thriller
Gems,
in my head. That's kind of what a thriller would.
The
Or-
like Uncut Gems. I think it's like a pacing thing. Like it like doesn't like I feel like horror. It has its like moments where it, like scares you like here there, and I think thrillers for the most part start off kind of like introducing you to like the dilemma, and then when you know all the facts, and I think it like sort of shows you like the lens of like something the character can't see. So you know what's happening, but the character doesn't know, and it like makes you like oh my god, what's gonna happen with that guy or girl? What is he gonna do? What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?
It gives a sense of dramatic irony since you expect to know something that the characters don't.
Okay.
But totally, Nick, since you have HBO, do you watch Barry? Do you watch Barry?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
What is Barry? Hold on.
You have
Barry's
to
so
watch that
good.
show. You have to watch that show.
Dude, I
Bill
stopped,
Hader does such a good job, and it's so good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I stopped
Nice,
midway
nice.
through season 2, so I'm not completely
What?
done yet. Yeah. Season 1 was great.
I don't get how you could stop midway with all that stuff happening.
It was a dark time. It was a dark time.
What
Okay,
is
sorry.
this?
Yeah, no, you're good,
Barry's,
you're good.
Barry's good. I think Barry's one of the best shows on HBO right now.
Bill Hader
Like, it's so
stars Barry, a depressed, low-rent hitman from the
Like,
west.
remember when
Yes.
they're trying to snipe him and they miss, and he's like, "What is that?"
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bro, the
the
end
fuck?
of season 2.
Oh,
I'm not gonna get spoilers, but like, holy shit! Just, oh my god.
Dude, the end of season 1.
Mm.
That.
Yeah, they
so
always
sad.
leave it. Wait till you get to season 2.
Yeah, we didn't get to season 2 because that's it's intense.
Yeah, I just had to ask. I was like,
No, that's fair. Like,
Understandable.
Barry's that good.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's really underrated, right? Because
Mhm.
no one.
yeah,
really talks
nobody.
about it.
Well,
I don't think so.
It got some awards. in
It
for
wins
comedy.
awards, but I think it's like one of those shows that's like, oh, that's just because it's like one of those that are just for like the Academy, you know?
It's the
And-
opposite of
yeah.
BoJack. 'Cause BoJack doesn't win awards, but it's worth
Yeah.
awards more, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I think they should have won over Rick and Morty, but
I
Wait.
love Rick and Morty, but BoJack I think is just one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Does everyone here like BoJack?
Yes.
I do.
Never watched it.
Okay.
Stop. Do you not like BoJack?
No.
Dude,
Wait,
BoJack,
wait.
No.
BoJack would make Nick cry, dude.
Oh,
Dude.
fuck, man.
Yeah, I
So
think so.
It's so
I
I
sad.
think so.
But
Wait,
like,
how much did you watch, Cornell?
yeah,
like
go on that.
5 episodes, I believe.
Dude, the first half of the first season is literally a different show than the second half of that season, let alone the entire show.
Why would I slug through it then? What the fuck?
It's called character develop. I don't need to get into this, but
Oh.
this is why I don't drop shows, because you have to watch the whole season to understand that it's a different. Like it's.
But
not.
this is the same as when I said I don't like The Office, even though I've only seen a couple episodes of the first season. It's just look, first
Office
season's
is
the hook
no,
though.
No,
if you can't
I
hook
definitely
me,
feel differently. I feel differently about BoJack versus The Office. I think you should watch both.
Yeah,
But
well, I
it's
would
totally
say,
different.
because The Office is definitely like more episodic, but it's
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then BoJack, you get the sense that it's episodic at first, but then the more you watch it, you realize that it's just
It's very nuts.
it's not.
Yeah.
BoJack is the second most depressing, second most depressing long-running media source I've ever experienced. Like after this manga
Second
Oyasumi
to-
Pun Pun,
Okay.
and the only reason that beats it out is because BoJack has comedy in it.
okay.
It just hits on a lot of stuff that's it makes you question a lot of things. It makes you it makes you feel uncomfortable at times, especially with some of the stuff that happens later where you're like, oh, that's pretty awful. That shouldn't have happened like that. And I don't know, and that's why I think it's a good experience at the very least, because it tackles a lot of things. It's it at first it's a cartoonish show that kind of needs to get its footing and develops into something completely different.
I think also what we're getting at here is that Cornell doesn't really like dry humor.
I don't.
Because,
I really don't.
A lot of the delivery in The Office and in BoJack is deadpan, and it's
Yeah,
just
it's very deadpan.
one-liners, and it's not super enthusiastic, but it plays well.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. Probably the most dry humor I can handle was Family Guy, and that's not even considered dry.
I think I
Yeah.
mentioned last week that I loved Big Short because it's a lot of dry humor that goes to the camera like The Office.
Oh, I've never watched.
Don't watch
nothing.
it, Cornell.
I've never.
Hated it, even though it's not bad.
Oh man.
But anyways, getting back on track, Chris, I think you listed 2. We're good with that unless you have something else you want to talk about.
The only other movie that I'm really into right now is because I know you guys talked about Soul, but I'm really Soul really helped me my personal life. I
Right.
love Soul, just the way it helped me refocus myself and
Good film.
to how I view
Yeah,
things.
nice.
But it's funny because the movie right after that I saw that I really enjoyed was this movie Claws. It's it's a Santa Claus.
Oh, you told me about that.
Yeah,
movie.
I was talking to you
did.
about it. And
Wait.
I enjoyed the shit out of that.
2019.
It was funny going from Pixar's almost realistic, animation style to this 2D, 3D animation of Claws that was very expressive in a different fashion.
Oh.
And it's so funny because it's it starts off with a postman, and it's it's this postman's story, and it's that makes complete sense on if you think about it for what Santa Claus, how we mail our letters to him. I thought it was such a fun movie, and the main character's very Cusco-like. So if you like that type of character, you'll enjoy the movie, I think. So I think that one. I mean, I know it's gotten awards and stuff, but we need more of that. Do that from other things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Would you say that's a movie that's targeted for who would you say that's targeted for kids? Because very obviously this Paprika wasn't.
No, Paprika is not.
Yeah.
I'd say it's for young adults. Oh, what?
I showed this to my kid. You think
What do you mean he got scared and traumatized? What do you mean?
What do you mean he has depression?
It's an
Go on,
animation.
Chris.
It's for kids.
Yeah, would you yeah?
I'd say young adult because I don't think it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Santa movie, but the way it's handled. It's like it's very funny. Like it has like some older type of like humor, and it's like very. The main character is very like self-interested, and so like having that kind of main character is kind of it is on the younger side, I guess, if you want to like look at it like. But
I got okay.
I don't think being like being made for younger audiences is exclusive
Right.
to adults being.
Right.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and you can see that on, like with Pixar stuff too, like
yeah,
Soul.
most of Pixar
It's
stuff.
very obvious. Yeah. Okay. Now
Nice trope.
the movie that most people liked, that people hyped up, that you kind of just hated.
Well,
Anything come to mind? Not even specifically movies, but
yeah, there's very few things I genuinely just dislike outright. Other than 11 Eyes, there's very few. Like, but two that just come to mind where I'm just like that are overhyped in my opinion, that I'm just like I enjoyed it, but they're one was was Cornell was saying was Your Name. Like I think it is structurally just a good movie. The way
Aldo,
emotions
calm
was
down.
so good. But I just didn't feel the way everyone else felt about it, and I'm just like it was fine. It was good. I thought like it on a critical level. I think it's very good, but I just
on a personal
wasn't
level,
with
it's
the hype of it,
Mm,
just because everyone
gotcha.
was like, "This is the second coming of Christ." Like, like
Well, my personally, my counter thesis to Your Name is like A Silent Voice, because they came out around the same time.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that one?
Trash.
oh well, because I read A Silent Voice, the whole manga, and then I watched the movie, and it's funny because the anime movie took out one of the core components of the manga, which was them making a movie, and that was a huge part of like the reason why all the friends sit together and stuff in the manga. But the anime, I think, did a good job of like getting all these characters kind of together and making like friendships out of them, and pushing them to grow. Because I think it's, the manga for me is like one of my favorite mangas of all time, because I think it does a lot of character development very well, and tackling a lot of stuff that with bullying and so the self-hatred and stuff that is getting more talked about, but I think it just handles it very well. So I do agree. Like I think A Silent Voice is a better movie in my opinion, but I think that Your Name hits a lot of different things, like the emotional beats, which is to some people it's gonna be better, but that's fine. But to me it was overhyped.
I mean, we can all agree. The only reason why it was so emotional is because the soundtrack was great.
It helped.
Which one?
Yeah.
The animation.
Silent Voice?
No, for Your Name.
Oh, for Your Name.
Like literally,
Yeah.
animation and soundtrack. That's pretty much like the
Yeah.
story's still mid.
TBH.
Story's still
TBH.
mid.
I think, personally, Wuthering With You is like what Your Name was trying to be.
Really?
Because I think that one hit a lot more. That one made me cry. Like that, I really felt the emotional beats on that one as opposed to Your Name. So
Okay.
and
I can
Radwin.
understand that, because I really liked Withering With You. I think that had a lot of interesting stuff, and the way that it concluded, I think, was interesting, and I don't know, more realistic, and like it felt less idealistic in the way that it presented the main character making a choice of like what do I want, and what's good for me, rather than what I should think about everyone else in the world. And I think that to me, I was like, that's such a
It's
good
less romantic.
yeah
You know what I
which-
mean? Like it's less idealistic, I guess.
yeah. But another show that I think was overhyped, in my opinion, is Gurren Lagann.
What?
I
What? Wait.
I think it's whatever.
How
It's fine.
how dare you how dare you Kyoko like this, bro?
Dude, every person I talk to thinks it's the third coming of Christ.
how Gurren Lagann is
I've seen-
amazing.
I've seen 3 episodes of that, and she seems very flat, Cornell.
How?
Like as a character.
Okay,
As a
maybe.
character, to be clear.
Yeah, not
I was about to say
Definitely not
in
flat.
hentai standards, maybe,
Definitely
but
not flat. But like as a character, she just seems very like boring. one-dimensional.
See,
But I've only seen 3 or 4.
See, my counter argument to that is just I feel like what made it great is because it's like a dark shonen, almost. Like it's like how Demon Slayer did it, where it's like it's such like traumatic experiences happening to these people, but they still have shonen characteristic like mentalities. And as especially the second arc for the Gurren Lagann kind of solidified that more because it's more towards like growth and moving on and what happens after a couple of years happen to these people, which was a great take. I wouldn't call it third coming of Christ, but I still think it's pretty good. I still think it's pretty good. I can only agree with that statement, but the rest, don't do Bikini Sniper like that, bro.
Like I said, I just didn't enjoy it as much as everyone else around me. I don't think it's bad by any standard. Like, I just didn't think, the presentation for me wasn't as appealing as it was to other people.
Wait, did you like Darling in the Franxx then?
No. But like, then it got to episode 16, and then it got worse. Like,
my heart. 02.
Coming of Christ.
Oh shit. Hold on, sorry.
Took that one personally, huh?
Forthcoming was too far.
You said something bad about Darling in the Franxx.
Yeah, those are probably the two things that I thought were just.
Okay.
And like I said, I don't dislike them by any means.
Right.
But and a quick one, Your Lie in April. I don't think. It's as
Oh,
good as
really?
You what?
It made me mad.
That's been on my list because people tell me it's sad, and I like that sad shit. So.
It made me mad because the whole story was trying to help someone, and then the same thing happens that traumatized him, and then he's like, "Oh, it's okay." That pissed me off. Like,
and here thinking I'd take your anime recommendations to gospel, and you said Your Lie in April is shit. How dare you?
say that. It's good. I think it is a good. Like I said, I don't think any of the stuff I mentioned are bad stuff. I just don't enjoy them.
Oh, okay.
Which is a hard separation.
Bro, this makes me. I want to watch this.
Your Lie in April.
Yo, good shit. It might not be to Chris's personal taste, but it's really good.
Oh no, it's not a movie, Nick, because I just looked it up right now.
Yeah, it's a
not the
series.
movie, it's a TV show.
It's a show.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, if you
Like-
look it up, you'll see like live action. I'm like, well, that's probably not it.
It's on Netflix. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's sad. I think it hits a lot of emotional stuff well. The characters are just to me kind of stupid.
Wait,
And
which one do you like better than Chris? I Want to Eat Your Pancreas or Your Lie in April?
Pancreas is way better.
Fair play. Fair play.
um,
Although I would gear towards Your Lie in April, but that's more of my personal taste because it had music
yeah,
in it.
that's fine. Like, I don't know. It's just that I think some of the stuff that it tried to hit about some of the development with some of the characters, and then how it kind of just like ended. It felt more abrupt for some of the stuff, especially when it went with all the stuff trying to develop them. I just was like, okay, like it felt kind of flat for me in terms of like the growth and stuff. But I know, and like I said, I think it still did very well. It's just I'd rather watch other.
I'm still not over Elino saying Kyoko's flat. How dare you?
Like, okay, but like, to be clear, I've only seen like 3 or so episodes.
No, I know.
I haven't seen much character development, but she's definitely the least interesting character that I've seen in those.
Out of the
episodes.
3 main, yeah, like it's kind of hard when the main character who's self-deprecating and then Kamina. So it's kind of
Okay, well, moving right along, as you guys can probably tell, this is some kind of like an anime episode. We do have Mr. Super Anime.
Finally,
got
so happy.
So our next topic of discussion this week will be your favorite anime of all time, or at least of all time as of right now. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take this one first because I think I have the most predictable and underwhelming answer to this question, and that is that my favorite anime is Neon Genesis Evangelion. Very obviously, I mean, I won't shut up about it. I'm that type of like that type of guy who will like corner you at a party and be explain philosophy to you and be like, oh, this is Neon Genesis. It's about this and that. Blah,
It's
blah,
like, remember the scene
and
in
like
Ava?
all those memes about all those memes about like, oh, if this is your favorite anime, you're probably depressed. Blah blah. And it's like yeah, but like yeah. But like outside of that, I guess I wrote down a couple other honorable mentions. We already talked about Weathering with You. I like that one a lot. But related to this, I also wrote down Ghost in the Shell. I'll probably touch on that a little bit more when we're talking about Paprika. So 1978 or something like that. I don't know when they come out. I'm not gonna pretend actually, but I like that one a lot. And I also like Studio Trigger's recent movie Premiere.
Oh, you've seen that?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, I liked it.
Really?
I've heard
so many good things. I never got around to watching it.
I did watch it as well, but I didn't like it that much.
Really?
Exactly.
I think for a lot of people for that have like this trigger nostalgia or like Gynex nostalgia, like it's trying to recreate that in terms, but like within a short form movie. And so I think if some people liked it because it was like, oh, it's all the same things that I liked in the same type of way that they're doing it, or all the callbacks, or they'll take it as, oh, it's just trying to be the same thing that we've had. And so
So would that mean
whatever.
it's less enjoyable if you're not familiar with Trigger?
So here's the thing: I'm not familiar at all with Trigger.
And you still liked it?
I loved it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it dealt with themes of like repression and the plight of minorities and stuff. And yeah, like, and I wasn't the closest thing I was really familiar with was like Kill la Kill, because I had seen Kill la Kill before this. So like, and that's not even technically Studio Trigger, right?
I think it was.
That's from the same creators.
That's Trigger. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, didn't they just publish it? Or no? Wait, Trigger's not. No, I'm thinking of someone else.
Gynex switched from, I think Logon was like their last one, and then they switched to
Oh.
Trigger.
Oh, okay.
I think they produced Kill la Kill, if I'm not mistaken. But
Yeah, but like I wasn't familiar at all, but I still really liked what they did with it. So I thought it did well as a standalone piece. But
Wait, Aldo, why'd you hate it then? Or you didn't like it?
A while ago, I don't know. I forget how long.
it's just bad.
But well, first of all, I was just really thrown off by the animation. It just seemed kind of like old school to me, so I wasn't a big fan of just like viewing it like aesthetically. At least from what I can remember from the story, it was really predictable, and it didn't really like make me think much. And I was just kind of just watching like action stuff happen, and like the whole story, I was like, of course he's gonna help them. It's like he has to. He's the good guy. Yeah. So that I don't remember. I can't really be specific because it's been a while, and I don't really want to watch it again.
Okay.
But yeah, and then I thought it was hilarious though, like the Deus Ex Machina, the name for like the machine at the end. And
yeah,
like,
that was hilarious.
Yeah, it's so funny.
That was
good.
Well,
Yeah.
if you didn't like that one, let's go to you. What would be your favorite anime of all time?
Me?
Whether show or movie or otherwise.
Oh, okay. So, I'm not gonna pretend like I know a lot about anime because I don't. I just literally started watching like 2 years ago. I think like 2 years ago. Started watching Naruto. Watched it as a kid, but yeah. Well, I guess that I don't really count it because it wasn't like, like continuously. But then I watched Attack on Titan, which I do remember watching the first episode when I was like in 9th grade, but I was like, eh. And I don't know what happened, but I watched it again, and then just like it became this sort of like healing show for how horrible Game of Thrones ended, because Game of Thrones didn't have answers to questions, and this show had answers to questions, and I think I really liked that they mixed the like I guess the mystery of like what's happening with the politics way better than Game of Thrones, because they did the politics okay, and then they did the mystery okay. It was like at the end, like leading up to it, I was like totally into it, and just being sort of like not like reaching the standards of what I was expecting in the end.
I don't get, dude. All 6 seasons of Game of Thrones were great. Like all
All 6. Just the only 6 that exist. Those are the only ones.
I love your
Like the only 6 movies of Star Wars.
yeah.
I love how you're omitting out of your reality the other seasons.
Bro, you're not supposed to.
What
You're not
other-
supposed
what?
to bring mind to that.
You said the what?
Oh no, I know nothing.
No, but yeah, like I think what like Attack on Titan did was like so great because they had like I think Jared or you said this, that they have an answer to everything. Like if you have a question, they have an answer to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
And it's like well thought out. And Game of Thrones sadly did not. And I think that's where it like fell short.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Where I was like, it's similar to Game of Thrones. It's like Game of Thrones in the same. It has a lot of the same type of vibe, but it has closure, like you were saying. It's like it has definitive endpoints where it's going towards. Like,
Yeah.
it knows already.
And I think a lot of fans were like predicting like what could happen. And I think I don't know if the writers were like reading the comments or like, damn it, that's correct, let's switch it up. And I'm like, are you serious? Like just because someone guesses
Yeah.
it doesn't mean you gotta switch it up. Like
Mhm.
it's so dumb. But I guess honorable mentions, Hinamatsuri. There's only
So
one
funny.
season. It's
Mhm.
like a hilarious show. I love comedy. I don't get to see it. I don't watch a lot of like hilarious animes. That one was so funny. So funny. You guys need to watch it. And then Death Note. I was really into that. I watched it pretty fast. But like just like 3 months ago for the first time.
Bro, that live action.
Stop.
Oh my god.
Stop.
Definitive Death
Fantastic.
Note.
Oh, did you? No,
I
not
haven't
that.
seen.
Not the
Death
anime.
Note.
The movie. The movie was.
No. Stop right now. Holy
No,
shit.
I did watch the movie for like just
Shits
just to
and
have
giggles.
fun. Yeah, for shits and
Yeah.
giggles. It was horrible.
I don't think it's bad, like as a standalone, but like as a Death Note movie, it's atrocious.
If
Yeah.
it was like something I've never seen, I'd be like, oh, this is it's something. But because it's based on something else,
Yeah.
Honestly,
Something good.
honestly, if they changed the names, it would probably be a good movie.
Honestly,
Yeah.
you know, it'd be an okay movie. It'd be an okay movie.
Yeah. Damn.
See, I thought it was okay, but I haven't seen. Like, I still laughed at it, right? I still thought it was extremely stupid, but I didn't watch any of Death Note, so I don't actually know. I guess how bad it is.
yeah, you should watch Death Note.
It's on the list, as ever-growing list.
Oh, speaking of, do you guys want to see my poster? Hold up, I
Poster?
finally got it
The
from
Death
Jay.
Note
Hold up.
poster, or
No, no,
what?
it's from Doki
Oh.
Doki Literature Club. You guys want
Oh.
to see?
You
Yes,
actually,
we do. Yes, the fuck we do.
this man actually bought a poster for Doki Doki.
I finally, I got it. Look, check this out.
Oh, it's dope.
Nice.
You got best
Nice.
girls, all of them. Oh, I see the room.
Oh,
And
Wow.
it has like blood next to like the poems because of
Yeah.
wait,
Damn.
Yeah.
have you ever played Doki?
oh my
Bro,
god.
play
We're gonna have to do a playthrough.
Good.
We're gonna have to do a let's play.
Hey, that's content right there for Nick.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah.
You'll just see him freak out.
First time reaction.
I'm thinking about putting it up like
Clickbait
somewhere
it.
right here.
Yeah.
I just need to get
Have
like
you-
a what?
No, no, no.
No, I
Get-
was gonna get like a wall mount. What is those things called? The canvas, like a canvas to put it on.
A frame?
Yeah. I don't know.
A frame?
You're not wrong.
No,
I mean,
that's-
I just taped these up, or I just taped it up. Like
I just
literally
don't
with
want to
Snapchat.
like damage it if I like
Okay,
you know
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
move.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
But yeah, have you seen Jay's waifu wall?
Oh, wait. Does he actually has a
Maybe.
full
He
wall?
has. He has like yeah, it's you can see it like in his streams too in the background, but he has like posters of a bunch of like waifus, and one of them is Monica.
Mhm.
It's that one famous picture where like you're on a date and she's like,
When I
Oh.
was playing,
Wait,
when
wait.
I was playing, I was
Twi-
like, why?
Wait.
I want to pick Monica. I want to pick
Twi-
Monica,
Yeah.
but it doesn't let me.
Twitch.com/JRPG. JAERPG. Let me plug it real quick.
yeah, I think he's mentioned he's gonna be returning soon, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But But yeah, moving on. Nick, you want to go? Favorite anime of all time,
Yep,
or
yep.
of right now? Go for it.
My favorite anime of all time has to be the first anime I ever watched when I want to say I was like 12 years old. I watched Akira, and it was a fucking experience watching it. I watched it every day for a week afterwards.
Damn.
Yeah.
Nice.
I tried to get my uncle that got me into it. I tried to get other uncles to watch it. No one wanted to take.
They're like, no.
Yeah,
This is cartoons.
That's so
Kid
weird. 'Cause,
show?
Like, movies like yeah, like movies for me when I was a kid that I was rewatching over and over again was like Lion King or Toy Story. For you, it's fucking Akira.
Damn, dude.
The fucking body horror cyberpunk
Yes, sir.
masterpiece of the 90s.
Mine
or
was
whatever.
Toy Story
Jesus
as well.
I was
So
Star
bad.
Wars.
It was
That's
an
hilarious.
odd childhood.
Yeah.
Good.
Good movie. Yeah.
Yup,
Great. It's a
even
great
better.
movie.
Runner up would definitely be Evangelion.
Mm-hmm.
That oh man,
Yeah, yeah.
everything you said is pretty on point.
I didn't know we had this many hipsters.
Yeah. You didn't have to call us out. Chris, you're fired. I don't want to see you on this podcast ever again.
Alright,
I'm
fun, you
kicking
guys?
you from the Discord.
Damn it! Although you showed your poster, can I show something real quick? Too?
Go for it,
Of
bro.
course.
Oh, do it.
Wait, did he get
Better be
Ava?
fucking Evangelion.
Did he get Ava merch already after, or is this Akira?
No, it's
Oh my god!
Nice.
Best girl,
Fucking dope.
best girl, fucking fight me.
That's so nice.
yeah, she watches over me at night. Thankfully.
Cute. That's cute.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
If we're doing show and tell, I got something to show later. So
Oh, let's go.
Girl.
Yes, my,
I
Do
do
you want?
have a Sasuke knife right or sword right there. If you
Bro,
guys
I
want to
can't
see
go
that.
far.
Oh, hold up.
oh my god, I just found the most comfortable position. I got a new chair and it's a bit uncomfortable, and I just turned it into a different way, and it's literally the most comfortable I've done. This is it.
Ooh.
I definitely did not have to buy this. I dropped
You
so much
have-
money on this,
Mm,
and it's
You have the sword?
That's
it's
fucking
so
dope
sword.
though.
That's so worth
Is
it.
it sharp or?
No, it's like what's it
Like-
called? When they like take it
Oh.
off, like it looks sharp, but it's not.
Dull.
It's
Yeah.
dull, yeah. But yeah, because I
Nice.
love Naruto when it came out. Got me through some hard times. Not
Good
when
shit.
it came out, like when
Mhm.
2 years ago.
Something
Nice,
funny
nice.
is that over before Christmas I started watching Attack on Titan,
Mhm.
and my mom she thought it was Naruto. She thought it was Naruto, so she ended up getting me a Naruto shirt. Little did she know I've never watched Naruto.
Mm.
Like,
See, dude, I was at an anime
That's
store.
funny.
Funny enough, I was at an anime store in Little Tokyo, and the name of the shop was, you guessed it, Super Anime.
Oh,
And so,
nice.
Is that your
And
store? Is this a plug?
yeah, I own it. Surprise. But there was a guy there that was like, that kept asking me. He's like, "Excuse me, do you know what's popular?" And like, it was a guy getting his kid some anime merch, and like, it just made me think. Like, I feel bad just because because anime it's a medium, not a genre.
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
there's
Right.
like it's like, oh, if I do you think I can get my son this Grey's Anatomy thing? Like, is that good enough? Do they like that? Like, it's like, it's so broad and so
Yeah.
vast that you can't really just say. So I'm just like, Dragon Ball,
The usual
Demon Slayer,
suspects.
Those are popular. He's like, oh, I know Sailor Moon, and I'm like, yeah, that's a show that you may have watched.
That people like.
Like, and so like I felt so bad because it's like the people that do try,
Yeah.
they don't understand that it's like, well what's your favorite show? It's literally the same question. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, here's this has a design on it, right? Like,
It's like, it's close
Sure.
enough. It's close enough. It's a gift. There you go.
Yeah.
it's like oh, like what. You're into religion, right? Here's a Buddha statue. Religion? Like, that's what it feels
I'm
like.
actually a Satanist. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You know what's actually really nice though is the like primitive Dragon Ball Z collaborative shirts. Have you guys seen those? Those are
Yeah.
I
super
haven't seen
nice.
those. What's that?
Those are
Primitive.
nice. Yeah, I have a board from Naruto, but I'm not gonna do another show and tell.
You're like, I've got too far.
Yeah, I do have a
I see a
skateboard.
lot of I see a lot of like artists and apparel designers on Instagram that take a lot of they make a lot of merch themed off of like different anime.
Yeah.
So a lot in the style of like, because I just looked up the primitive thing. So yeah. That's really cool to see. Because like there's been like a mainstreaming sort of this type of.
I think they
format.
recently did like Hunter x Hunter. And those my guy, because I got my cousin. It's like one of his favorite animes. I got him like a shirt for Christmas. And those were I wanted one, even though I've never seen it. I'd never seen it, but it looks super cool.
Yeah.
Bro, I hate that when you're like see something that just looks so good. You're like, I don't even know what that is.
Oh no, yeah, I bought a fucking bucket hat with like 02 horn. I haven't even seen
Oh yeah,
You've seen it. Oh my
I haven't
God.
even seen fucking what is it called?
Darling.
Darling in the
Franxx.
Franks. Best anime of all. No, I'm just kidding.
Speaking of Cornell,
Oh
why don't
shit.
you go ahead and share your best anime of all time?
Oh fuck. God, that's such a loaded question. Cause
Yeah.
okay, so
I expected not to have single answers from you and Chris.
okay, so damn it. I mean, as of right now, my top anime will probably be JoJo. I mean, as I fucking quoted it every week. I've always talked about JoJo, just because it's such a I don't know it. I didn't know a stylistic choice that I would hate at first. Like I would love it as so much at the end. Like especially
It's almost like you watched more than 4 episodes.
Shut up! Shut up! No, like okay, I'm gonna say it right now, and I think a good amount of people can agree. Parts 1 to like 3 are kind of meh, and part 5 is the best. Cause I mean, if I don't know if Chris, have you seen the show? Have you gone to JoJo yet?
I've seen all 5 parts.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't get better till like part 4. Like part 3 establishes like the new world they have, which is fine, but it was kind of prolonged. But part 4 and part 5 kind of where it kicks off.
Well, like the thing is, I actually agree with you completely on that. However, a lot of people really like part 2.
Why?
Because it's wacky and it's like crazy and it's bizarre.
Well, I mean, yeah, Joseph was a good protagonist like when he was younger, but I don't know, man. The story felt a little bland for the like. I feel like the character carried more rather than the story. Because
I mean, out of the ones that are animated right now, like I think 4 to me is my favorite, but I think 5 is probably to me the best written one, other than the ending, which you could have your opinions on.
No, it wasn't that great.
But like I think
I agree. I
4
agree.
and 5, like they have the most like character. Even though I think Giorno is probably the blandest out of like he's on par with Jonathan in my opinion. But
Yeah, like Jotaro has always been like the most like impactful Joestar, like out of all of them.
I think Joseph is the most charismatic. I think Josuke is the most human because he feels like a person. He's just like a dude.
Yeah.
He's just like, these guys just came out of nowhere and told me you have powers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well.
But yeah, I think currently right now my top anime is JoJo. But God, there's so many runner-ups that yeah, no, I have a lot of runner-ups just because I didn't rediscover anime up until like maybe 3 years ago because I remember there was like the Moe blob that happened and I watched a couple shows of that one. I really loved K-On! And I think probably that's the only one that stuck with me when I was watching anime from that era. But I started watching anime when ecchi shit started taking off. So how many kilograms is your dumbbell? Like how many? I forget the name, but
the dumbbell one.
one.
Everybody knows of the dumbbell one.
Yeah, High School DxD. I love that one. And then yeah, and then before, yeah, I got into anime again before the isekai trained, and yeah, I think some of my runner-ups are probably gonna be more recent, Like I said, Konosuba is definitely on top. Sing Yesterday to me is a pretty good one too.
Talks about that one. I really enjoyed that one too.
Yeah, it's surprisingly kind of just going under everyone's radar, but it's super good. Like the cinematic of it's pretty good. The story is like took me by surprise, even though I think I spoke with you, Chris, about it before. You kind of saw it, but I really didn't because it didn't follow the trend of like romance animes. Fuck, what else? I mean, Demon Slayer. I mean, who doesn't love Demon Slayer at this point, you know? Well,
Japan does for sure. That's
yeah. Fucking, how many millions did they make out of that movie? Like
they
50.
beat One Piece. That hasn't happened in like 20 years.
Yeah, but it's pretty good. Like it's good. It's not amazing, but it's good, you know. And fuck, what else? I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Didn't it win something when the season came out?
Like the awards or
yeah.
I mean Crunchyroll awards, but that don't mean shit.
Oh.
I was looking at the.
I just remember when it came. Huh? What was that?
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the nominations for this year, and I'm just like, man, there's some other stuff I wish.
But yeah, I think my other runner-ups is just basically what's in season right now that I was kind of super surprised it would be good. Like Mob Psycho 1 and 2 is pretty good. Like I didn't know animation can get that good up until I saw that shit. And Mob Psycho Tonikawa is pretty good too. Over the Moon for you. And I think my last one, honorable mention, probably be Jujutsu Kaisen, just because I had an itch for I had an itch for supernatural stuff after, like, supernatural action stuff after Mob Psycho, and Jujutsu Kaisen was hype enough, and it was the power levels were like interesting enough to where it's just like, oh, it's completely different because it's not just like boring elementals. It's like complete like unique situations in the natural life that they're basically kind of insinuating to have powers. So it's a weird world building that I never thought I would get into, but it was pretty good. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, can I say something about that? That's what I had noticed with the first episode, like the way what is it, the school?
Yeah.
That's where all the negative energy like manifested. That makes so much fucking sense. Like I could.
Like there's logic behind the power, like the power explanations to it, which I guess not like before it was just like, oh, it's magic. This world has magic. That's the reasoning. They get the energy from the world. That's pretty much it. But no, this one's like it's carried by something very humane, which is emotions, and it realizes and kind of puts itself to life in a way that would probably exist in the world. If we can just quantify it, then then we can prove it. But I don't know, it just makes sense. I like the trend now of like animes nowadays having that kind of logic, especially with shonen stuff, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice.
Fair amount of shows. I respect them.
And I think you were last, Chris, right? So
Yeah.
you wanna? I know you kind of talked about it in your introductory top 3, but anything new or different that you want to talk about here?
Well, as super anime myself,
owns a store, business owner right here.
I think I have a lot of shows I like. I think my top shows right now, I'm loving ReZero. I think that show is so good in so many ways that it just keeps getting better and better in my opinion.
See, I hear a lot of mixed things about that. I hear a lot of people hate it and a lot of people don't love it.
The people that I hear hate it don't hate it because of the show, but hate it because either characters or certain episodes, because they bring out emotions, because they're like, how could this person do that? It's like, oh, because they're a person. You forgot, huh?
Yeah. I see.
But like, I love ReZero. I think it's so good.
Nice.
I enjoy. There he goes.
Keep going.
Yeah, fuck him. Fuck Craig, dude. God damn it.
And you enjoyed.
I love Gintama. I think that's that is one of the only 2 shows I've seen incorporate filler and it being better because of it. Like they have arcs of filler episodes and they're dumb, but it's a comedy that's very meta. So they talk
I see.
about the filler, or they're all like,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, do you see how we're reusing shots? That's because we can't afford it. Like, we can't afford to make new stuff. Like it's so good in so many ways."
Wasn't that
Nice.
wasn't that part of the charm of Gintama? Because I've only seen a couple episodes, but wasn't that the part of the charm of it was kind of just how wacky they can go with like how they do their story or something?
Yeah, like the thing with Gintama is that the way that they handle the seriousness along with the comedy, I think this is why I like part 4 so much. Is because when you set up a show where you develop the characters and have a fun time in the beginning, when shit hits the fan, that's when it matters and you'll care. And so for part 4 of JoJo's and for Gintama, when every thing that happens at a major event happens, because in Gintama everything's played for laughs. They have stuff where they're like, the Shogun is there and they use him as a snowboard and they rip off his penis. Like
Yeah.
like that's wild and like dumb, but like that's so funny. And then there's a part where like main characters die and it impacts like the characters in the world, and it to show that how much that matters and stuff. Like it draws a fine line between like the meta comedy and even the basic comedy even, along with like the action and the adventure, the character drama that it is, and I think it does that superbly. The only downside is that it is very long, and so if you're not invested in some of the characters, some of the arcs or whatever, by whatever point, like it doesn't matter to you. Along with those two, I love Code Geass.
Sorry. Before you talk about that,
Sorry, yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead. Like, keep going. I just gotta use the bathroom.
Oh,
I'll be
okay.
right back. But go ahead.
That's
Sorry.
fine.
I just
Code
plugged it in.
Geass. What happened?
Sorry.
God, I hate
Plugged
that
it in.
guy. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, can't believe this man is allowed on our show.
The first time he's hosting.
Oh, I'm so leaving this in. God, what a guy. Can you believe him?
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Code Geass.
Oh, yeah, Code Geass. I think is such a great show. It's political. I don't know how many. Have any of you guys seen Code Geass?
Mm-mm.
Wasn't it a wait? Wasn't it a mecha anime?
That's fair. It has mecha in it, I
But
would
not.
consider it mecha.
But it doesn't revolve around mecha, right?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It's more of a like supernatural, like political drama.
Mm.
And I think that is very good. One of the best endings, period, in my opinion. Just out of any media or anything, I think it's just that good. I love the show Higurashi. I know
Yeah.
with my friends, like, it's a meme when I bring up the show because it's dumb. Well, it's not dumb, but like the way I bring it up is dumb. But I think there's a new season airing right now. It's weird and wacky, but I'm enjoying it. But we'll see how long that keeps up because people like to continuously add remakes and reboots and stuff, and they don't know when to end shows because money.
I mean, it's starting to be like the next Ava because they just keep remaking like the same. Oh well, I don't think. Well, they're not remaking the same story and like kind of altering it, right? It's like an actual continuation.
Yeah, it's the thing. The thing about that is that like they're trying to make it accessible to new people while also being new content and stuff for the old fans. And it is doing that because they have like on Reddit they have 2 discussion threads, one for reboots, one for the remake only. And I think it's interesting going
For
through
what?
them and seeing like
Higurashi.
Oh.
And so going through that stuff and seeing like the first time viewers, experience for it, and then the old timers be all like, wow, like, dang, this is crazy. I can't believe this person did this. And then going to like to someone like where I'm at, where I've seen all the show, and then going like, oh, this is actually like theorizing and like drawing a lot of conclusions that may not make sense, but that's been pretty fun. What other shows? Mob Psycho.
Yeah.
Like Mob Psycho, like Cordell. Like I think that show is like just very good. Same guy that made One Punch Man, so of course it's gonna be good.
Wait, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
won.
fuck! No wonder. God damn. I was wondering why I like there's certain IPs in anime that I'm just like I like this and I like this also, but I never make connections like that because I never go past like who wrote it and shit. Like the only time I do that is with manga, so I'm just like like animes. I don't know why I have this weird like separation when it comes to anime and manga, even though they're very like much connected. Because like source material for most animes are from manga, so
yeah. That's why like I wish they came out with more like original stuff. Like Code Geass was original, although some of the ones I mentioned were manga and stuff. Like the Wonder Egg Priority that I started, I'm pretty sure that's an original. If it's not, then I'm lying. But
let me look that up. I'm curious.
You know, all things considered, Darling in the Franxx is an original.
But it's so good. No, just
well, like that one, they're course correcting in the manga, and I've heard good things about the manga that are better than the anime, and I'm like, do that for the anime.
What?
Yeah.
Were there like production issues or something? What happened with it? Is it just they just didn't do a good job or what?
Well, okay, because from what I heard from the anime studio a little bit, just because they said some stuff at AX a couple years ago, is that they had two studios working on it. They had Trigger, and then they had A1. And A1's done some good stuff too, but a lot of their shows for me are like generic stuff. If it's not like, you know, well-known IPs. And the thing is, I don't know if it's just Trigger trying to shift the blame, but like they said that like some of the episodes that really kind of messed up the story was that A1 was taking control of that, because I think Trigger and A1 had different visions for where the story was supposed to go, and because of that, I think instead of splitting like within like episode after each other, it was like sections of the show, and I think that's what fucked it up, because it kind of just made them diverge into stuff. Don't quote me on that, but that's kind of like the thing that they said at AX, which, you know, could be them just hiding them messing up, because spoiler a little bit, but just like it becomes a very space stuff things happen, and like from the beginning half of the show, that's very not what it was going for. And so yeah, just the production, just how people kind of wanted to get their hands and change the direction, which is why I prefer shows where they have one like creator with the vision.
Yeah. It's too bad. It's too bad. Star Wars doesn't have that.
Right.
All 6 movies were by one person. Look,
you're right.
I know we've talked about this, but like for the viewers, like I don't hate the 7 and 8. I don't hate 8 has its problems, and it's not the best of the series. 9 I hate. 9 I just hate straight up. I know the thing about them too is that like they brought so much joy for a lot of younger people, and they brought people into the fandom, and it reinvigorated stuff and got people into like it, because of how that was perceived in the same vein of kind of like the prequels were. Like the other medias for Star Wars, like, you know, Fallen Order and even the Clone Wars, like those felt more loved, because you're like, oh well, this is the true Star Wars, even though you know, it's all Star Wars, but like it made people feel more like this is the connection that they made, because there's so many different properties that you could fall in love with. And you know, despite, you know, my problems with it, I think that's overall a good thing for the fandom, even though you know, the fandom is very cannibalistic.
Yeah. All right, boys, moving on. We're gonna get to we'll be talking about the animated film Paprika. Came out in 2006, directed by Satoshi Kon, and unfortunately it was his last feature film before he passed away in 2010 from pancreatic cancer. But the movie is basically this exploration of dreams and what they mean to different people. Does anybody want to take this away and get started on the review? Talk about things they liked, things they didn't like, initial reactions.
I feel like Nick.
Nick is smiling. I feel like got
Take it
something.
away, Nick. Go,
Go
for
ahead,
it.
man.
Dude, surrealism
Yeah.
done so beautifully, so seamless. Like that's what I loved about it most. I think is that while watching, especially like the first 5 minutes, you
Mhm.
know, you don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
You know, like what the fuck, what is happening? I really loved the way that what is it, Aldo, you had said that like you liked that it could you kept on, like it kept you on your toes, like you had to pay attention in order to like continue with the story. And that's really how it is. That's really how it was. Dude, why'd you make me go first, man? Fuck. I hate this.
Yeah.
I hate this. What was it?
But was this the first time you had seen this movie?
Yeah, I watched it once last week, and then I watched it
Oh,
second
again
time.
yesterday.
Yeah.
How was it going down the second time? Because for me, Chris and I watched it earlier this afternoon.
Yeah.
And both of us were like, this is like a really dense movie. It was like definitely something that merits a rewatch. Things that we'll pick up. So how was it going down the second time?
I feel like I enjoyed it more. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it a lot more just because like I didn't have to keep up with it. I guess like I didn't have to like be like fully focused on everything. I kind of enjoyed it the second time much more.
Mm-hmm.
There's one line that it's gonna stay with me forever, where Paprika is talking to Kanakawa,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and she describes how like the earlier stages of dreaming are like artsy short films. Well, yeah, while the like
the REM sleep is it's like the
that's-
blockbuster.
Yeah, man, and
Yeah.
it's if I must be dreaming in fucking early stages all the time because that's all I do, man. The artsy shorts
Yeah.
in life.
Yo, I kind of got that, to be honest, because after I watched the movie, I kind of just stood in the middle of my room and stared at the wall, and I'm like, am I dreaming?
Is this an indie short film?
I
Oh,
hope, man.
Yeah.
Like literally. Also, what I enjoyed is that a lot of the stuff, or there were certain things in the movie that I didn't really understand, but I'm kind of glad. I feel like I didn't need to understand it fully in order to fully like feel the film, which was nice.
Yeah.
Satoshi Kon, thank you, Mister.
Rest
Hell
in
yeah.
peace.
hell yeah.
Rest in peace, man.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I heard about that and I was like, oh man, because apparently, that movie at the end that he goes to see
Yeah.
Dreaming Kids.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be like his next movie, I guess, like
That's crazy.
Dreaming something,
Mm.
Dreaming Machines. But then he
I think it's
obviously,
Dreaming Machines.
yeah, and then so it got canceled because he decided, because he got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, like, and he had like 6 months or something or a year to live, and he was like, I'm just gonna spend it with my spouse or whatever
Nice.
instead of working.
Yeah,
Quite
he was really
unfortunate.
young too. He was like what,
Yeah.
46?
Hmm.
Like
Quite unfortunate because he gave us like some good movies.
Some bangers.
Yeah. But I guess I'll talk about it next though. But like when I watched it initially, I don't know what like on the surface it was like about dreams and like ambitions and stuff like that. But I also started to understand it as kind of an allegory for the internet. And they even say as much at the beginning. So maybe that's what kind of tipped it off for me. Because they were saying like the internet is like is a lot like dreams. Yeah. So and then I don't know if like it was kind of like a soft reveal or something that that Paprika was the doctor, right? Because that
yeah.
wasn't made clear at first, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
So,
they
like-
alluded to it, but it wasn't like concrete because
Yeah.
everything was so weird already. So
Yeah. So when that happened, I was like, I kind of put it together, and I was starting to think about how like Paprika is kind of like an internet, like your internet avatar or who you are online, kind of. Like, you know how you would go around in like your professional life being like by the books and straight edge and all that, but then when you enter like in this digital realm, you're more free to express like I guess quirkier sides or personality or whatever, you know, and you're the spice basically, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what it kind of that's kind of what I understood it, at least initially. And I was drawing a lot of similarities to like the other movies that I mentioned, like Ghost in the Shell and Akira. But the thing that struck me the most was the ending. I don't know if you saw Ghost in the Shell. Did anybody see that here?
I didn't.
Which one? There's
The first one. Well, I'm talking.
yeah, I remember the first one.
But it's both of them kind of have this message of thesis and antithesis and synthesis. So it's like, and these messages about balance, and it's like it's fine to have like these dreams and ambitions, but like also like you can't get swept away with it or else it'll consume you. So that's kind of what like her coming together with that what's his name,
the
robot.
genius.
Yeah, the genius.
Yeah.
And like being able to admit that like reality, like, and to like that she loved him, and then like that being able to overcome and like save the day. That was kind of like the synthesis and similar to what you see in Ghost in the Shell. Like, no spoilers for that one. But,
Well, to bounce off that, if you don't mind,
yeah, go for it.
to me, a lot of it felt like it was trying to show the many faces of like the self, right? Because the whole part was like it was a separation between you and like you said, like this kind of online persona or the dream self,
Right.
almost. And then with her and Paprika, like as a different part of her that she doesn't want to accept. And even with like some of the other characters, like what's the guy that she likes name? The
Tokita?
Tokita.
Yeah.
Like the outward appearance of like this like overweight guy that's childish, and like this compared to this like kind person that like, you know, she sees, and like that they all kind of recognizes there. And you know, and it seems like it's trying to show that like you said, like there's a balance between like all these different parts of yourself that are like separated by, you know, whatever you have, whether it be like kind of like how like they have it like in Soul, right? Or they have like these ambitions or like these things that they want to like grasp onto and like continuously like work for.
Right.
And like with her, like she focuses a lot on work, and that's why like she's very serious. And then the Paprika side to her is very like flamboyant and, you know, expressive, and you know, and her coming to terms with all of that is kind of like part of who she is, and you know, and that it's something that she has to come to terms with. And that it's okay to like, you know, have those different sides to you. I think was I think very important. And to, because like I think even Tokita at one point says like, you know, the meal that he had that was her needed some spice, which is the paprika. And I know that they try to stop him from doing that, but I think, you know, ultimately what he wanted was for her to be, you know, true to herself in the entirety sense. And that's why when she eventually goes into him, and then she comes out like reborn almost. And I thought that was like, I thought that was a great scene. Like, and then along with, you know, I know we saw the same video about like kind of analyzing a little bit about like too much of, you know, one thing can get you kind of like this false sense of like reality or whatever, and can disrupt you. Because like a little like it reminded me of one of the Danganronpa games, like in terms of like some of the stuff they were tackling in terms of like how your reality, you know, and fiction can like have, you know, these effects on each other. And and that like even though like these are in the dream world, that they're still like, you know, important parts of you, and that being in that state and having those, you know, imaginations, like you shouldn't like just toss them away or like just separate them, and that, you know, dealing with them and, you know, coping with everything is important. Like even the cop, like he had to like kind of confront and realize that, you know, like what it is that was damaging him and stuff, because, you know, that stopped him from working, and it had like this trauma around him. And, you know, it's I just love the way that it just like kept pushing for that kind of like acceptance for like, you know, the real world and this fake, and that every like all of that is a part of you, and that you should, you you shouldn't just like disregard or be absorbed in one specific thing. And I really like that.
Yeah, I agree. Feel like the cop was kind of a weak character though, personally, for me.
What?
Did
Wait,
anybody feel
what?
that way?
No.
It was just kind of
Wrong. You're wrong.
So
I
okay,
just
let
thought-
me go.
I didn't think. Okay, go ahead.
So I don't know. Like I think the cop, to me, was us because I think he
Mhm.
sort of feels like the outsider out of all of this, and I think that's why I connected most to him because he was the only one that was sort of like viewing all that was going on from the outside, and he was like us. He was seeking therapy like through that method, and that's how he gets like into the story. It's sort of like us getting into the story ourselves, and I think that's why the cop resonated so much with me. And it's not like he wasn't necessary, like he like
Right.
was there, and then like he's the reason that like Paprika was able to like get out of certain situations and all that. And not to mention that the last line in the movie was by him was phenomenal when he's like, one ticket please, at the end. I was about to cry. It was amazing. And I yeah, and then and that just like his whole like problem, and like we start the film with him, like his like problem of like not being able to cope with, you know, abandoning his friend and all of that, like all his dreams sort of like going towards that of like movies, because he feels like he abandoned his friends, you know, his friend to like, you know, do something else. And then I think that they tied it up really well, like revealing that, you know, in the end he still did, like he was following the dream, like he's just
Mhm.
making the movie in real life.
Yeah, he
think
became
that-
he became the character that he wanted to be, like in
Mhm.
the film. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
That's
like an
funny
extension-
because
No, you go,
because
you go.
while we were watching, he was like, "I hate movies," and then I went to Chris and I was like, "Dude, what do you mean? You're in a movie?" And then it turned out that that was the actual plot of the movie, is that he was living a movie, and so I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But what were you saying?
Oh, no, I was gonna bring up the like, his character I think showed a different side of like the acceptance of yourself and who you are as a person too, but in a different way, because how he said that a part of him died, like when his friend went, like he went away with his friend and then his friend died, right? And like, and that, you know, that these parts of yourself aren't just, you know, tied to you, like these parts of yourself that are your friends and the people you care about and the things that you care about, that all of that is, you know, each one of them is a part that is you, like that lives within them. And I think that like I liked that it was a different type of view of, you know, showing that these other people are connected in a certain way. And even like with the dreams, how they were all like, oh, they're all mixed together because, you know, we're all connected in some capacity of we as people. And I think that was very, you know, interesting. So I just want to bring that before because he's the cop thing. So
Yeah. Nick, what did you think about that whole like collective thing? Because for me, when I saw that, I understand that internet, like I explained, but I know you're like big on like Carl Jung and stuff. So is that something that came up while you were watching it?
Yeah, all I could think of was like Young. I mean, fuck. I talk about it a lot. Like like between
Yeah,
us,
yeah,
like, the shadow and like that repressed self. That's how I interpreted, I guess, Paprika and Dr. Chiba. And then also
Wait, hold on, Nick. Give me a second. Let me bump you up real quick, cause you're a little low.
my bad.
Okay, there we go. Sorry. All right, go ahead.
Alright, so yeah, like the psychotherapy, like that whole machine, like that's amazing. It's great. I really love that idea of it. But that's how I had interpreted it, was the Paprika and also the two bartenders that the cop had as being like the other, I guess, two parts of him that were like, you know,
Of the cop?
Yeah, of the cop. That's how I had seen it. Just because they were like there, like helping out at the end, trying to like stop everything that was happening. I thought maybe just because, you know, him being a cop, he's trying to like make the world a better place. Because that's what I'm pretty sure that's what he was thinking. And like them doing that, like Chris, you had said that these are all different parts of the same self, and how everyone's connected. Like
yeah.
yeah, that's how I guess I had interpreted it in a way. You were really pulling on my heartstrings, by the way. I almost bust out in tears. Like, ooh, we're all connected, yes, sir. Yeah,
But like,
I would-
oh,
Oh
huh?
no, you go.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking like that made me think about the idea of like dreams and like how we have these like different like parts of like our persona, and how I think a message of it was like when we tend to lean more towards one, we kind of fall into this like dream in a way because we don't know what's real anymore because we're too much into like this part of our persona that we forget that this other part exists, that we're just like living the dream of like we're being this person when in reality we're this whole other person, like a combination of different things.
yeah.
But that's just like what that made me think of.
I mean,
And I
isn't that like the whole point of like the director kind of falling into that,
Mhm.
where he got too absorbed into like his vision of like what he thought was should be happening, like with him being in the dream world and being able to just stand, like as much as you want to wish for that and crave that, like some things you have to kind of just like accept that are and aren't.
Yeah, but like honestly, like it would be perfect if it didn't, like rip off Inception. So
Whoa there, bud.
Can't
Whoa
believe
there.
Even later than it. How could it?
Did everybody
Whoa.
here see Inception?
Oh yeah, I love Inception.
Yeah.
Same. Love
I
Inception.
wouldn't
It's like-
say it's like
Did you
copying
think-
it. I don't think so.
No.
Because
I
I,
don't-
think
Such a
what's his
joke later.
name has acknowledged an influence on his movies. Christopher Nolan has acknowledged that Satoshi Kon had some influence on him.
Yeah, I mean, two scenes I think from
Yeah.
Paprika was used in Inception.
Oh, what
So-
scenes?
Yeah, which ones?
The breaking glass one, where Paprika was going into.
That is true, but that was like sort of minimal in Paprika in my eyes when I saw it. Like I could connect it, but it was like a different like like they used it for like exposition in Inception, and it was like a little different because it was like sort of like like you get to see like the mirrors back to back, like creating like an endless thing.
Yeah, my understanding prior to watching Paprika was that like Nolan ripped it off beat for beat, and that, that was not the case, like whatsoever.
I think I kind of had the same experience too, where it was like, it's kind of the same idea, but then as I got through it, it's like, oh, it's totally.
Yeah, much better. If
I would say like there was like an element of horror to me in like the
Oh no! Here we go.
no. just
Here
like
we
the,
go.
like the whole band. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
at first, I thought it was sort of
Yeah.
like cartoonish, but as it went on, it
The
was
band?
really creepy to me. Like the
Oh,
band
the parade.
the parade
Oh,
that's like
oh.
leading you to like
Yeah.
the end, like that, and
Yeah.
especially Himaru, that guy. I just looked it up. His face, fucking scary, dude. It was
Yeah,
so
he,
scary.
he's
Like,
one
no,
creepy
yeah, it is.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that was like
and apparently his other film is also very like more creepy, like more
Perfect Blue.
Perfect Blue.
I want to watch
yeah.
that one next because this is any
yeah.
representation of stuff, and I've heard
Yeah.
more good things about Perfect Blue than I have of Paprika. I've heard good things about Paprika. It's
Me
like-
too. Yeah, exactly. Cornell.
Yeah.
Did you react when I said that that I didn't find the cop very interesting?
Yeah, I
Because
did.
to be clear, like I
Wrong.
found
Wrong.
I found Paprika more compelling than the cop. Not that he wasn't interesting, but I feel like I like understood the character of Paprika more. But like, what are your thoughts about the cop?
I mean, it goes back to what Aldo said that I feel like Kanekawa's role into that film was just more of like the what a normal human being would do in like a situation like this when he's just starting to get involved into this new technology that involves dreams. Like, I mean, at first he used it as kind of like a tool to serve a murder case, and then next thing you know, it was back into assessing the duality of a person, of like what is repressed within your personality, and kind of just like addressing that. And you didn't really get that with any other you didn't really get that much explanation for that progress within a character other than Kanekawa. That's why I was like, to take it back. I'm like, bruh, he's kind of like, here's the baseline of like what could happen when you mess around with this technology and you're just like, nah, not interesting. Pretty girl, spice.
Maybe he's just a fucking cop.
Yeah, that too.
Kind of low key, kind of was in the back of my head. I was like,
He's a fucking
guy an
cop.
asshole?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Am I the only one that connected with him just because like he was like a self-doubting filmmaker at one point?
Yeah. No, I connected with him too. Yeah, I really connected with
that's
Kanekawa the
interesting.
most. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why that's how I had seen him. Like I felt like I don't know, like as a creative, like you go through that like period where, you know, yeah, that self-doubt, that fear, and then having a partner that doesn't show those things and is succeeding in, I don't know. I felt that. That's why I connected with Kanekawa. I try not to focus on the fact that yeah, he was a cop.
Yeah.
It was difficult. It was difficult, but yeah.
So yeah,
I think maybe I kind of attached to Paprika more because like the whole repression like dynamic of his repression's my aesthetic or
oh no, it's the pixie fairy all over again. Oh man. Honestly, okay. This is gonna be my opinions for this film, and it's gonna sound. It's well, no. The reason why I'm stating this is because it's gonna sound real fucking weird, especially coming from me. I honestly gave this movie 100 in the middle of the film.
Let's
Like
go.
I legit.
like in the middle of it.
Yeah, I legitly thought I'm like, this is 100. I don't even like this movie can go any other way, and I'd still give it 100.
Really?
Yeah, because like I said, you guys were mentioning like some of the characteristics of like humanity within this film. I feel like I was one of the few people who kind of got that right off the bat, because right when they were talking about Kanekawa's like. I got it right when they were talking about why the guy in the circus caged him, and he was like, "Oh, he's an old friend. Like he wouldn't do that to me or shit like that." In my brain, I'm like, "Oh, so this is his interpretation of the people around him that he doesn't know yet." And I knew as then I was like, "Okay, so this is going to be a lot of interpersonal relationships with their own self." And it's gonna be that kind of movie, and from there on, it surprised me either way. The way they broke reality was super clear to me, because as soon as you think about the logic of the world, that's how you know it got broken. I think the first time I got how they broke reality was when they were investigating the guy that went missing, and the doctor found like a letter case in the closet, and as soon as I saw that, I knew, okay, they're about to go to the dream world, and they don't, and the filmmaker's not gonna tell the audience that it's about to be broken. Like the logic behind the world of going from real world to dream world is about to transpire, but you don't like unless you pay attention that there shouldn't be a fucking ladder there that goes to a circus. You know, because you'll be taken. I'm like, wait, weren't we just in a room? Weren't we just in an apartment? So I knew, like, so I right then on, and as the story went, I'm like, this is 100. I don't like, they can do whatever, and I'll probably be happy with it, and I'll probably be happy rewatching this ever since. Like, it's such a playoff with cinematography that I really love, which is let the audience figure it out. That's another reason. Like these are the reasons why I love certain animes like Made in Abyss. Like I wouldn't put it on my top, but I feel like Paprika did one of the best things you can do when it comes to treating your audience, which is make them pay attention. You know, if you don't pay attention, you're not gonna get it. But if you do, you will be rewarded so much, and that's how I felt even in the middle of the film. So, and the whole character growth of, or like the whole themes within humanity about like what you guys said of interpersonal, like having this two sides of your personality, one being like what you would show on the internet and what you would actually show on your social life, was such a nice theme to go with having a technology that regards with dreams. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, like the chairman kind of insinuated that he was the bad guy right from the second meeting, right when trees started to go, and it's like he went from like the office and then into like an office in trees. I was just like, oh, you have something in the background that these characters don't, and you're about to do something bad. I don't know if you guys caught that.
I remember that they were talking outside, and then he sort of like comes out of nowhere. Is that what you're referring to?
No.
No.
So there's two scenes when they were meeting with the chairman. One was in the regular office.
Right.
Well, there's three scenes actually. The third scene is when they actually fight, but the first two, it kind of was synonymous to where it was. But unless you pay attention, it kind of has a little bit more meaning, because the first two scenes feels like it took place in the same place, which is like the hospital's office. But the second scene with the chairman had like trees growing around.
It's like an arboretum or something.
Yeah,
like
and
greenhouse or something.
Yeah, they didn't show it was in a different place. It felt like it was still in the hospital, and I was just like, oh, you're doing something weird in the back, and you're about to do something bad to them. Like, it's such small details like that in the cinematography that I'm just like, wow, you've paid attention, and unless the audience does, no one's gonna get it. Like, I think another one was with Kanekawa's arc, where they were talking about how he doesn't like movies, right? And it's a scene of like dead, like a ghost town with just movie posters on top. Like, it showed you, yeah, he's into movies because here's his dark past. But as soon as he said, I don't like movies, everything closed down. I was like, oh, so you do like movies, but there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with you liking movies. Like, there's so many little details in this movie that I never felt bored watching this movie, which is a rare thing for me, because I always get bored watching movies. That's why I barely watch them. Like, I don't like sitting through a film I don't like, because as soon as I get bored, my kind of like temptation to just skip around, like, I do that a lot. Like, every time I watch a film,
skip around in movies.
I do.
For boring ones, I do.
Yeah. Like, even in good movies, I think my rewatching of La La Land, I did it too, because I was just like, oh, he's gonna be an asshole in here, and he's gonna do this because it's the typical plot. This one, I was just like, even if I saw this again, I wouldn't skip around. That's how I knew it was 100 right off the bat. I was just like, I never got bored watching this, and that made it 100 for me. And I don't know, man. It's like I said, it's the theme with the humanity theme with the dreams made sense. It was done really well, and the fact that if you don't pay attention, you're not gonna get most of it is such a good thing for me, because I was just like, give me more details I didn't miss. Give me more. Like, fucking pull another fast one on me, please do it. Like, I fucking dare you. I'll fucking catch it. If I don't, I'm gonna watch it again. You know, like, I love when a film does that to me, and yeah. Easily, when a film does that to me, it's an immediate 100. Perfect film.
Can I ask a question? Are we doing ratings now?
I mean,
It's a good segue.
Because Cornell already went.
So yeah.
Well, actually, first of all, I do like the cage thing that you brought up a little bit earlier, and I think like one thing that I noticed was that the people have his face. He's caging himself.
Yeah.
Like, he's the reason that he's stuck in that situation, and he won't be able to escape it until he realizes that. So I thought that was amazing, metaphorically.
I didn't pick up on that on the first few. Yeah, actually.
So many hints of just internal struggle within the first scene, dude. I was just like, oh, it's so nice.
What was I gonna say? Can someone explain to me, because this was something that confused me, how the dream world was starting to mix with the real world? That was something I couldn't really like understand how it was occurring.
Yeah, that's why I was
surrealism.
I think it was because the chairman. So the chairman was basically starting to take other people's consciousness, and that's how he. I mean, the parade itself was
like a bunch of people that had already been taken.
Yeah, it was a representation of people of all his victims, and I guess in that world where you can hop into dreams at any moment, that kind of. Having that amount of consciousness under your control gives you the power to kind of close the bridge between reality and dream world. That's how I interpreted it. Because the more power you have over like the sacred plane, as he fucking called it, and he's the guardian of the sacred plane, I mean, means obviously he's done some shady shit to gain power and kind of understand the world. So as he gained like sentient towards that other plane, even though he's still a human being, he was able to pull off something like that, you know? I feel like that's how I interpreted it, how he merged the two worlds together.
So-
a different. Oh, sorry.
Oh. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say a different perspective is that I think that interacting, like, I think one of the videos I watched and just like seeing how we're talking about the different sides of different people and how being too obsessed with one thing is kind of corrupting almost.
Mhm.
Interacting with this dreamlike state and continuously going in and trying to affect it or be absorbed in it, that doing that like can bleed into reality and affect the real world. And so like you going into this dreamlike state, like and him the director interacting with it, and even Paprika continuously interacting it because the separation of herself and just the continuation of just doing that over and over like made it the lines blurry on what is real and what really affects you as a person, and that went to the whole part of like the entire city and landscape because because all their dreams and all their mindsets were kind of just like merging and stuff, and it brought forth this change that did affect like the world, which I think is an important thing.
To hop off that, I think at the end Kanekawa kind of has that ability now where he can see the dream world almost, where wasn't it he saw his other self talking to him through like the glass, and now it's just like he's fine, like again just like how the doctor has Paprika, Kanekawa has now his old buddy that died now is a different personality of himself, because that's what he said it himself in the film, that he was always chasing him. He was always trying to catch up to him. He hated that he didn't hate him because he wanted to be just like him. And now his other personality, which resides in the dream world, is his old buddy. And now he can have a conversation just like the doctor and Paprika can have a conversation without going to REM sleep,
I was thinking that was more like him coming to terms with it. Like that was like kind of like a send off though, like about how him like acknowledging, or like his friend acknowledging the stuff that has happened, and him being okay and kind of just like I'm good now.
Yeah,
that's why he's able to like conclude with that to go to the movie at the end.
Yeah,
like
I see. Okay. Well,
so did you think the ending was like, or not the ending, but
just that
the way they
moment,
defeated the chairman, was that like
a little
off-putting to you?
It was a little
you don't like kaijus?
a little incomplete for me, just I guess because based on how you guys were responding to, there's like different interpretations of it, which is fine.
Right.
That's like a good thing in my opinion, but just for me, my inability to understand it sort of was off-putting.
I mean,
because I was like trying to create like the logic of like that. I was like, wait, what's happening?
Of how it would bleed in.
Yeah, like how does that?
So
actually happen?
would you say that would affect your rating then?
Yeah, that's why I was asking. If somebody
of
was able to make it like clear for me, I'd have been like, okay, better. But
that was one of the biggest like aspects of this film, was that all the rules of the world were up in the air. Like it was never explained. You just know there's a way to do a certain thing, but it's still incomplete. I guess that's why they said it was incomplete, because a lot of things in that world is still like up in the air. So I guess that's why it wasn't explained.
Well, that's why Paprika herself, like
yeah,
like just from a moment she gets shown, you already have this like weird sense of like, well, what's real with her? What's really going on? Because like when she was with the cop, like you see her in her outfit, then you see her in robes, and then you see her in her outfit like the next second, and I noticed that, and I was like, so is she a real person or what's going on? And then you see her in the intro doing all this stuff, and then it goes to Atsuko, and then you're like, what? And then when they have those interactions, you're like, well, how is she talking to this other person? How come she's the only one that can do that?
Yeah,
gonna have to base your own conclusions. Like I said, it is surrealism, so it is supposed to be like this kind of fantastical thing that like.
Yeah, but I feel like I guess where I fell into it was that it made sense at some point, and then when I got to that moment, it didn't make as much sense as I thought it had. Which is
so
it's
like
fine. It's
the
fine.
thing that Cornell was talking
it.
about, where how they set up that they were gonna break it, like did that not like I guess work for you?
It's not that it didn't work for me. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just that I feel like when I caught it being broken other times, it made sense, and then just this last thing for me wasn't like something that made sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to make sense of something that doesn't necessarily have to have like a set meaning.
Yeah.
And I think that's just me. That's just me. And I guess the other thing that I wouldn't necessarily like was her liking Tokita.
What?
I thought I thought it
I
wasn't
remember.
it wasn't alluded to, in my opinion, enough. And I thought if it was just more about her accepting like her other side, like of Paprika, I would have been okay with that. I don't think she needed to find like her love for this other guy to become that like being to stop the chairman.
Yeah, I think the only illusion they had as to them being together was just how the doctor really knew him personally, because she went on the rant of basically just like how, oh, you're so childish and you need to stop and take responsibility. And in my brain, I was just like, wow, you really pay attention to him. What the well? It's like,
What a soon.
yeah.
So like her, to me that was a little bit like, so I would give it an 89.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Bruh.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
I definitely want to watch it again though.
You can still watch it. We got 48 hours, and I rented it yesterday, so you got a couple till
We
like.
still have another 24.
I have
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. What about you, Nick? What would you? Any thoughts on, about the film?
You really gotta ask me that? Perfect 100. All right.
Perfect 100.
Alright.
Yeah. Hell yeah, Nick.
Yeah, just like what you were saying, Aldo, like certain things didn't make sense. Like I felt that too, and I don't know, the way I had seen it is like when I have dreams, like I don't fully understand them, and I think that's what dreams are. You're not supposed to fully understand them. You're maybe it's like more about like the feeling that you get from them and the like path that they set you on. So that's how I had interpreted that. That's why I was like not really I guess worried about the things that made sense or didn't, because like from the start it didn't make sense like at all. Like
Right.
Nothing made sense in the beginning, dude. Nothing
Yeah,
made
like-
sense.
it's a dream, and like yeah, that's perfect 100, man.
That's a good way to like describe this movie. It's a dream in a movie form.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it. Like, yeah. Fair play.
yeah.
It's an artsy 2-hour film.
Yes.
It's
it
actually
was.
like 85 minutes.
An hour and a half,
Yeah,
sir.
an hour and a half. Hour and a half. My bad.
Well, the credits start at 125. I pointed this out to Chris
It is.
because it was like, wait, it's not even 90 minutes.
Oh my
See,
god.
that was another thing, that like the fact that it was a really artsy film. Like I'll watch artsy films, and majority of the time they're slow. They're really slow paced. And this one wasn't. Like it
Yeah.
had me excited the entire time.
It gets
You
to
know,
it
like-
right away. Yeah.
Yeah. And still being like very, very just different than the general way of making movies or like presenting them. So
Yeah.
that was tight.
Mhm.
Bro.
Having the title card of Paprika based like starting from like the card she gave him, that was nice.
Yeah, I
that's
like
nice.
that too. Yeah, they had some really interesting editing choices in this movie too, like the one where she comes out of the guy's shirt.
Oh
Do you
yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that.
I
Yeah.
love that cut, dude.
Just the whole intro, like
Yeah, they do
Dude,
a
when-
lot
yeah.
of good editing
Dude, that
choices.
like reminded me of like something that happened to me when I did shrooms. Like things kept like
You did what?
merging, and I did shrooms.
You did what, sir?
I did shrooms.
Officer?
And, like, it kept- one thing became another, and they kept like that's what that reminded me. I was like, whoa. But that was
Actually-
really aesthetically pleasing. to me.
Actually, you know what, Nick? I just realized I totally get what you mean by like it's an artsy film, but it moved in a quick pace that made sense. Dude, go watch Bakemonogatari next.
Oh, let's go.
You'll love.
Those are trip shows.
Yeah, if you
It's
enjoyed
just novels. That's the anime are just novels. You just read the whole time.
Dude, if you enjoyed the fact that it was an artsy film and it was fast, watch Bakemonogatari. You'll know fast once you see that TV
right.
series.
Especially for people that need to read subtitles. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude.
It's
Oh my
so much
God.
easier for people that just like you listen to it because holy.
So okay, so should I watch it dubbed then, or no?
No,
No.
the dub doesn't the dub doesn't carry over like the humor and shit.
Okay.
Or not
Deliveries.
yeah, the deliveries I should say.
I know, why would I even ask that? What?
You watch
There's a couple good
anime.
dubs. There's a couple good dubs. In all fairness.
Cowboy Bebop.
Naruto.
I feel like that's
first.
that's a discussion for another time. I'd say.
Yeah.
But yeah,
For sure.
I'd agree. There are some just the good ones out there.
Fairy tale.
What about you, Chris? What were you think? Any closing thoughts and your rating out of scale over one?
Well, like I feel weird because like are the rating skills because I defended this movie a lot and I was explaining all these different themes I was talking about, and I'm probably gonna rate it lower than the 3 that I've named it so far.
Yeah.
Like,
What are you gonna name it, Chris? What are you gonna name it? What number?
well, okay.
Let him speak. Let him.
I'm on like I was in between, so like I'm kind of like at 85 because I was feeling 80 and I was feeling 90 at times, and I'm just like, it just like not to say that like they didn't have as I talked about like a lot of the great themes and the different ideas, but just some of the stuff that I'm just like I value a lot of like characters. I know it's a movie and it's very surreal, but like I even with the defense of the stuff I liked about the characters, I do wish that they were more thought out or had like deeper stuff. Like although they were interesting and as ideas like themes or whatever for the movie, like I would prefer some of them to be more like people, kind of like the detective, but more fleshed out, I guess. And so that held it back a little bit to me. And I don't know, but like I said, I all the stuff that you guys said that you enjoyed for it, like I did too, and so that just the way I rate things is different from you guys. Like,
Okay.
So, like, final answer is like in the 80s.
85-ish.
Wait.
Depending on the day, it'll go up 5 points. It'll go down 5
okay.
points.
Wait, Chris. What classifies as 100 for
Yeah.
you?
Or
I'm
like
curious.
a high 90s for you.
Yeah, or high 90s.
Well, for the thing with that is that it has to. I have to enjoy it like at least in the 90 to 100. So like I have to personally feel like, well, this is like I enjoy this to whatever. Like even if it's a shit show, like I have to enjoy it to that capacity. And then how like, and the thing is, it's not a perfect scale, obviously, because you can't judge every show on the same merits or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, a show that's like up there is like one that has like a complex world with a lot of well-developed characters and all of their stuff, that has a lot of themes within not just the people but within like the interaction. Like
Can you name like shows that you would consider in the high 90s? Just like one or two examples. Just I'm curious. I'm curious.
like Steins Gate, FMAB, like
Okay.
I think those are like BoJack. I think those are like all like super like I rate them all 10s.
Super anime.
I would rate all of those 10s, but I won't necessarily like Steins Gate and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood are not in my top 10, but I would rate them 10
Okay.
because I enjoy some other shows more.
Okay.
Like, I think that like Paprika, especially with the surrealism that it has, I think is really good, but like my enjoyment of it wasn't as much as like some of my other shows that I enjoy, so that would knock it down a little bit. So
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
if I enjoyed it a little bit more, I'd probably give it higher, but it was just like it was nice to think about more for me.
Okay.
Wow. Nice,
All right,
nice, nice.
Alino, what's
Yeah,
your rating, bro?
So, yeah, I really like this movie. Like I said, I guess I didn't really get the character of the cop that much, but I guess now like sitting down, like talking about it, it makes sense. Like it clicks to me. So like initially, I really liked this movie, and like I was going to put it in like high 80s, or like low 90s. Like, so I was thinking like 88. But then like after talking about it more and like thinking about it, I could probably convince to come up to like 95, 96. Those are really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel that. Like, the more we talk about this, I'm
It's
like,
like the more
maybe
you talk
90
about
for me. Like,
yeah. It's definitely like something. It's definitely not something that like you sit down for the first time and then that's it. You know,
It's-
like
yeah.
it's not
It's-
something. It's definitely not a movie where you watch and then you don't think about ever again. You know.
Yeah.
And it's like it's gonna be something that's probably gonna keep coming up in our discussions as we move forward too. So
Yeah, it's weird that I don't know. Do you guys? This is probably the first film that I ever analyzed after watching it and probably liked it more.
really,
Do you guys
Right
have?
now, I
Do you guys
like
have
it
that?
more analyzing it right now.
Do you guys have films like that in your repertoire of like films you've seen? Like, I'm pretty sure this is the first film I've seen really critically analyze it and go, yeah, no, it's still great. Like, there's still nothing wrong with it, you know?
Hot Fuzz was like that for me, and like most of Edgar Wright's movies, but but not in the same way. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to describe, but like
Like the speculation part in discussion makes it a different
Like-
aspect for it. Yeah.
yeah, like talking about the themes and like what the messages of this movie made me like appreciate it more and like what they're trying to do with it. But then like the more I thought about like Edgar Wright's movies were really like, oh, I really like that. It's like I want to see that again. That's the type of like but I don't know. I guess some other close things would be like Midsommar and The Lighthouse and Annihilation. So like the big like horror movies that I liked and I like to think about. But like I guess that would be the closest.
This man
Get
really
off those
called
horrible
Lighthouse.
movie topic.
Yeah.
This man really called Lighthouse a horror.
Two of the movies that I would say, like, I guess I wouldn't know if it's like analyzing like themes and stuff, maybe a little bit, but a lot like cinematography wise, where Blade Runner 2049 and Parasite, where I got a lot more like watching it again, like analyzing, especially like in Parasite, like because it was during class, so we like there was like a lot of people analyzing it. We talked about like verticality in the cinematography in that, and if you pay attention to that, it's like class within verticality. Like they go down in the basement, that's like the lower class, and that's where they're like fighting to like get the phone.
And that's where they live too, right?
Sorry, Cornell, you're gonna watch.
Oh
no! But just
I mean, with no
yeah.
context.
Yeah, no
just, like,
context.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Bro,
then
you gotta see Parasite.
Blade Runner 2049.
Not into
like,
dramas,
color.
dog.
yeah.
Not into
What
not into
about-
like
what ab-
not like to power struggle dramas. That's why I didn't like Game of Thrones. I was like, meh.
It's action.
Yeah, but it was more in the political side of like who gets the
It's
throne.
fantasy, bro. What do you mean?
Just because that's fantasy doesn't mean it's
It has
good.
dragons. It has dragons and insects.
So is High School DxD.
It's true. That is
Yeah,
true.
and you love High School DxD.
Yeah, but I don't think it's great. It's etchy trash I like to watch, and I know it's trash. So sorry, Aldo.
Yeah.
No,
you're-
that was it. That was it. So is that it? Is that it?
I mean, yeah, that looks like we're about wrapping up here. I guess anybody have any other closing remarks about the movie?
It's great. Watch it.
Yeah. So,
Honestly,
Watch it once, watch it again.
I feel like if anyone is gonna try watching this film, watch it twice, but like a couple days apart. Because I feel like
So it sits in.
yeah, because it'll I feel like it'll bring in a lot of new things. I feel like it brings a lot of new things as you keep rewatching it. You know, like unless you really pay attention to the first viewing, but yeah, it's really good. Watch it.
Includes some treats. Yeah.
No, I think this one. This is a film you don't. I think.
No, bro, you take shrooms and watch
No,
it.
bro.
You'll be going.
It
after
already
it.
feels like you're on something watching this.
which is even further beyond.
God.
But definitely watch the first one sober.
Yeah. Actually,
I could see, yeah.
I kind of support that argument. Watch it first sober, then do it something else.
And then you can do that.
Yeah.
Well,
Follow your heart.
Well, hopefully, anybody listening right now didn't watch this without watching the movie, because this was heavily spoilered. But
Yeah.
you know,
Or you don't care, which is what's wrong
yeah,
with you.
or you don't care. Yeah.
We should
But
we should have had a
I-
marker. We should have had a marker that said, "Hey, if you haven't watched this, watch this now. Then come
Yeah.
back to this."
Yeah.
Nah, it's fine.
But I mean, if you made it this far and you haven't seen it, go freaking see it. It's an amazing movie.
Also, what's wrong with
And
you?
also, what's wrong with you? But yeah. Thank you guys for everybody who's like made it this far and tuned in to listening to us chat shit about this movie. It's a great freaking movie. Thank you. I want to say thank you to the panel today.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you,
Chris. Thank you for having me.
Super Anime for
Thank you,
being
Super
a great guest.
So thank you for having me. I really enjoyed
yeah.
this. Hopefully I could be on again if you'll let me. If
Yeah.
you
Of
didn't
course.
hate my taste in some of the stuff. That
This man really said Your Lie in April wasn't that good.
It's,
Okay, just in case it was made it this far, was offended by that. I don't think the characters are dumb. I just don't like some of the things that happen
Nah.
at the end.
Nah, nah.
Yeah, you know.
This episode is gonna bomb. It's gonna be our worst viewed episode ever, and Chris is never gonna come back on. He's never gonna come back. He'll be banned.
They're all gonna see my opinions. They're like, this is wrong.
This guy's garbage. Never happened.
Wrong.
But yeah, thank you to everyone. Thank you, Chris, for coming on once again. Thank you everybody for listening. We'll catch you next time. I believe we're discussing The Lighthouse.
Yes.
Yes, we'll be discussing The Lighthouse. Aldo does not want to be on that
Wait,
episode,
I thought we're
unfortunately.
forcing him to be on that one.
That will be to be determined.
Aw.
I'll decide if I want to be on that one.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So, depends how.
It's that he doesn't want
I'll
to
let you
watch.
know. I'll let you know.
So tune in next week to see if Aldo is gonna get into some heated arguments with us. We will be featuring guest on that episode, Jabba, Jared.
Oh yeah.
So you'll
Nice.
be able to see him next time. Hopefully you guys tune in, and yeah, thanks for watching, everyone.
Okay. Bye, peeps.